first day of seasons on American Midwest continues. We still have plenty of work to do. Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome back to American Midwest. So, we're going to be hooking up to our slurry spreading equipment here. Going to do a little bit of fertilizing on some of our fields. Oops. We're going to leave the cultivating unit behind. Actually, no, we'll take it for this one field. Oh, we are caught. And now I can't even reverse. There we go. It's better. Let's fill up from our tanks just here. So we're going to... that's the wrong help menu. Here we go. We're going to come up here and cultivate and fertilize this field here. Well, actually, this one's already got one stage of fertilizer on it, hasn't it? So we just need to... Oh, that field has been cultivated. It's this field down here, field 26. This is the one that we ploughed. You can see our Challenger is still parked up just here. This field needs cultivating and needs a stage of fertilizer. So we're going to do that in one go using this equipment. And then when we've done that, this is cultivated, this is cultivated. We're actually working on this field right now. We'll just drop the cultivating unit off the back of this slurry spreader just here. And then we'll just spread slurry on our fields to give them that first stage of fertilization. Why won't this fill up? I'm on the wrong unit, that's why. It still won't fill up. Am I not close enough? Okay, that's odd. Why can't I get this thing to fill up? Very odd. Because that's the top tank just there. We've already filled that. Why won't that fill? Something's not right here. Let me grab another tractor. The Optim will do. Drive up and connect up to this thing. I want to see why this thing isn't filling. It should do. We have more than enough slurry in our silos here. Why won't this fill up? That's very odd. Okay, so it looks as though we're going to have to use our truck to shuttle. That's something I was kind of hoping I could avoid doing, but I suppose, you know, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. That's the wrong hanger. I wonder why it won't fill up like that. That's very odd. And this is the wrong... I was in the right hanger, wasn't I? What is going on today? I am just... It's because there's no tractors in there. They're all out on fields. That's what's thrown me. The Challenger is still out at the bottom of the field. It ploughed. The quad track is still working away. Obviously the Terra variant is with us. And so is the Holmer. So yeah, that's what's thrown me. Yeah, well, basically we'll have to connect up to our slurry transport tank here and use that as a refill point, a mobile refill point by the look of it. So let's get this filled up and then travel over to the farm and get all that kind of up and running. Very odd why it didn't work there. Okay, so we're full up on slurry, just topping up on fuel now, but this is the downside when you are playing on a fixed advanced timescale. So we're playing on ×5, and as you can see, you know, we've lost almost an hour already just trying to get fertilizer into this unit. You know, it's just another part of the day that's gone already. hopefully it's not going to take us too long, but you know, it's going to be 3 o'clock by the time we get onto that field, I think. So you know, already we're just getting started. We've lost an hour of light, and it is early spring. I mean, yes, we are playing on the Midwest Geo, so it's a brighter, warmer climate. But yeah, so losing an hour of daylight is never a good thing. So hopefully we can get that resolved for next time. Make sure we don't make that issue again. So there is our big new super field, 23 and 24, now combined into one single field. We'll be spreading slurry on that pretty soon. But first things first, we've got field 26, which you can see just coming up in the distance there. That's our target. Going to cultivate and fertilise that in one single go. And depending on how quickly the slurry starts pouring out the back of this, we might need to bring the fill tank over here as well. Hopefully that won't be the case. So let's get them folded. Get them lined up. Is that going to be enough? Probably not. There we go. I want to make sure I'm right on the edge of the field this time, so we have that little overlap. Make sure we get full coverage. And there we go. We are applying slurry to fertilise the field while we're cultivating it. Fantastic stuff. Let's get that Challenger off the field. Where is the Challenger? There it is. There is our Holmer working away there. We'll get this back to the farm. I don't think we need the Challenger for anything else just yet, but we could start doing some planting. Maybe try and stagger the planting of our crops a little bit. I actually do quite like the idea of doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out. I'm going to put the Challenger onto the cultivating job, and I'm going to get the quad track to take over on planting duties, because our seeder is the Great Plains YP2425A, and it does not like these Challenger tractors at all. So we'll get that switch done and take it from there. So you can see the quad track only has just a couple of passes left on this field. It doesn't seem much point to swap them over until it's done now. So you can just see the Challengers parked up there waiting. That'll retrieve the cultivator once this field is done, and then take it over and do field 10 on the what was that, field 12? It's field 12. We'll do field 12 for us over there, and then the quad track will go back to the farm and pick up our seeder and start seeding on field 1 all the way up by our animals, and then start working its way down across our fields, giving us time to go and apply fertilizer to those other fields that we've already cultivated. While I'm waiting for that to happen, I thought I'd just check in on our Terra variant. So you can see it's bouncing up and down as it works up and along these ploughed furrows here. We're doing a very nice job here of cultivating our field, and should also be putting down fertilizer as he goes. Yes, there you can see getting that stage 1 applied there very nicely. We just saw that one of our workers is finished as well. That's got to be the quad track, so let's jump into that. It is, and we've had some AI issues again. Looks like we'll need to do this a little bit ourselves. Alright, so I need to try and hold a straight line along here if I can. And I'm not going to get it all in one go, so I'm going to play it safe. Make sure I definitely get the edge, because I'm going to have to come back again. Let's do it like this. So time is ticking away on the day, and we still haven't started any planting. And still we haven't had that rain either. I mean, it's been threatening now for hours and hours and hours. You see that little rain cloud symbol in the top right there. It's making me wonder exactly when that's going to, you know, sort of pop down on us. But right now we seem to be in the clear. Oh, there we go. Field is finished. So, see, folding up the cultivator here. We're going to drop this as we drive through, so that our challenger can just move in and pick it up. Let's go grab a seeder. We don't really bother with eggs, but you know, why not? May as well grab them while we're here. I think that's all of them. So we're going to go grab our seeder, and we're going to go plant some wheat up on field 1, so that we have a nice straw income coming in quite close to our animals. Means we don't have to transport it particularly far. We might do wheat on field 26 as well, haven't quite decided yet. But I do want to do quite a lot of soybean on this farm, so we'll be putting down a soybean crop as soon as the ground warms up enough, which will probably be tomorrow, given the way things have been going. I mean, we started on 7 degrees, so I would imagine we'll get that 10 degrees that we need tomorrow. I guess we'll find out once the day is over. One of the things I really do like about field 1 is we have this sort of second access point here at the other end of the field, and I've just noticed the weather symbol has changed. It looks like we are about to get rain just about the second we start to plant. The rain's coming, finally. It's taken its time, but it is now impending. So we should start to see the clouds, you know, get darker, more overcast. It shouldn't affect us in any way. Might make traction a little bit less, but you know, we have a mighty powerful tractor here to pull this seeder, so it shouldn't really impact us too much at all. Right, let's change to... oh, went past it. Wheat, there we go. Worker is hired. I've got to be careful as well. If we work past, I think it's 6 PM or is it 7 PM? One of the two, then we start paying overtime, which means an extra 50% income for our workers. Makes them very, very expensive indeed. Right. There is our target field. This is the last one of our fields that we need to cultivate. After this, it's just slurrying and seeding that needs to be done. There we go, get lined up properly. And off goes the worker. Right, let's see, how are we doing elsewhere? About 2/3 of the way through this field, that's good. Got oh, what was our slurry top-up level like? Running a little bit low. I wonder if we'll need to bring the truck over. We'll take it over just to be on the safe side, I think. Yeah, that distinctive engine of the Oshkosh truck. You just make out a slight high-pitched whine of a turbo. It's a really pretty map. There's so many trees on this map. I can't wait to see what this looks like in autumn, once all those trees start to go brown and the leaf colours change. It's going to look incredible, I hope. Obviously we've got a lot of fir trees in this section here. They'll all stay green, but all these other trees here that you see and all these bushes, they're going to start changing colour, and I really can't wait to see just how different this area looks once that happens. It could end up being, you know, something that looks very special indeed. And I'm going the wrong way. I've just realised going to completely the wrong field. So we'll turn around, avoid these rocks. A little bit careless of me there. Didn't mean to turn down here. I meant to go straight on. I mean, I'm hoping we're not going to need to use this truck, but you never know. Better safe than sorry, I suppose. There we go. So we'll park up just here. Let's check in. Down to 6,000 litres. It's going to be tight. I just don't think we're going to have enough to get all of this field done. One thing I do want to do is I want to get this pig area cleaned up. We're still running way too much pig feed because we overfilled the trough. Where is... oh, let's do it this way. Jump back in the Puma. Let's go get the bucket and dump truck again, and we're just going to leave it there basically and keep kind of doing that until the silo, until the Lely Juno is able to actually start picking stuff up again. And we had put 6 days worth of food into a food trough that can now only hold 3 days worth, which is why we're getting such a backlog of corn building up that can't be picked up. The Juno only has a limited capacity, and it doesn't discard, it puts back into the food trough, and if there's no space in the food trough, well, it just gets full and then can't do anything else. And that's exactly the situation we have right now. That's why we're kind of, you know, sitting there with just big piles of corn building up with our Juno completely paralysed. There's nothing it can do because it's full and has nowhere to unload. Can't quite get that a little bit just there. Let's jump into the Juno. Oh, and there we go. Now we're in a position where we can actually get this thing working properly. So how much do we have here? 786. Let's see if it'll go in. Yeah, not all of it, you see. So we have got a little bit left. was that extra 300 litres that was causing all the issues. So now that our Juno is up and running properly, we shouldn't have any more build-up at that food trough now. We should be able to just leave that running as normal. So we can dump this little 300 litres into the silo. Thought we would need the truck, but turns out we were very wrong on that assessment there. Get that backed in. There we go. There we go, that's everything we needed to get done up here. So we've just kind of got to wait now until everything else is ready. And our workers start knocking off their jobs. Shouldn't take too long for the Challenger to do the cultivating. Actually, I need to drop that off, don't I? In fact, no, I'm going to leave that attached. Oh, and there we go. I was right. We were going to run out of slurry before we finish the field. It's probably just a thin, tiny sliver of stuff left to go, but it was an issue. So, where is our Holman Terra variants? Yeah, pretty much just a thin sliver, as you can see. So, let's fold up. And what we'll do is we'll head up to the top, we'll refill, and then we'll come back down and then drive out the field at the bottom there, and then go off and fertilise the next field by just spreading. And this time I'm going to try and fill up the rear tank. Well, I suppose it doesn't really matter now. You know, both tanks will fill up from our main sort of transport tank there. Still a little annoyed that I couldn't get this rear unit to fill from that silo. It won't let me do both at the same. Oh, there we go. Just got close enough to get them both going at the same time. Right. Where is that rain? It still hasn't come. This is bizarre. I'm wondering if the geo might be broken. Very odd. Alright, so we're going to have to do this manually. The worker doesn't want to do it on such a thin strip. That's kind of understandable, I suppose. But yeah, where is that rain? Still absolutely no sign of it whatsoever. Almost done. Rather oddly, we've got a little patch there right at the very end that didn't get done. I'm not quite sure why that happened. So we may as well just carry on all the way to the edge of the field. There we go. Oh, which field is this? Oh, this is field 26, isn't it? So there is no bottom exit point on this field. We can't exactly drive straight through a wooden fence. Alright, so next stop is going to be field 4, where we start just spreading slurry. We'll drop off the cultivator itself at the back. We'll get rid of that little piece there and just spread some slurry on our fields. We're back at the farm. You can see once again a tank has buried itself into the ground. I give up on that thing. But I'm going to drop the cultivating unit just there so we can at least get it cleaned while we're waiting to get the slurry on the fields. So this will dramatically increase our working width by just spreading slurry, but it will obviously as well also increase just how quickly we use that slurry. So I'm not entirely sure what my working width is going to be. I think this is a decent conservative guess. Which worker is that that's finished? That's our seeder on field 1. Oh, they're both finished. Our cultivator and our seeder. Oh, that's not a bad guess. We're slightly too close to the edge of the field, but that's not a bad guess. But there we go. Yeah, we have slurry spreading going on our field. Came over to field 1 to move our quad track and maybe plant onto another field, and once again of course the AI has decided to play silly buggers with us. So we've now got this whole patch here on the side of the field that hasn't been done. So we'll get this quickly seeded, and then I guess field 26 we'll do some more wheat or maybe some barley. Let's do some barley. Let's change things up just a little bit. So we'll get barley on 26. And then after that, that's going to be it for today in terms of what we can plant. The rest of the stuff we're going to want really soybean on those fields, and we need the ground temperature to obviously improve quite a bit before we can start planting that. If we plant too early, there is a risk that our crops just will not germinate, and I don't want to run that risk with a very expensive high yield crop. Or, high reward crop on all of our fields bar 2. That would just be a disaster. I mean, we can kind of live off the income that we're making from our orchard to a degree, and also from our animals, but even so, it's still an awful lot of money to lose, and to have so many fields just fail would be horrendous. And that is the end of the wheat field. Excellent. Right, so let's get folded up. Still haven't had that rain, and now you can see the sun is starting to set in the distance. I really don't know what's going on with the weather today. We had a threat of impending rain all afternoon, nothing happened, then it became definite rain, and still nothing has happened. It's kind of bizarre. It's no doubt going to rain once the sun starts to set and night falls. Yeah, we do now have the big patch in the sky. So we need to get this topped up before we can use it on field 26. Just do not have enough seed in there. And that's our slurry spreader run out. So we'll have to get that topped up as well. It's actually quite a pretty scene with that kind of colour like that. Obviously it's going to get a lot more intense as we know. That's quite a nice little shot there. So while this is refilling, let's pop the tank lid. There we go. While that's refilling, if I run down here, I can get to where the Oshkosh is. Bring that over and top up our 2 tanks. I'm starting to worry actually that we're not going to have enough slurry to actually do all of our fields, so we may well have to break and do some manure on the last couple. And if that's the case, then that's the case. I was kind of hoping that we could save that so that we could maybe save the manure for a second round of fertilisation. But it looks like we're going to have to rely on the weeder for pretty much all of our crop fertilisation needs. Didn't really want to drive this onto the field, but needs must. Is that close enough? Yes, there we go. So, yes, another refill job. Making our way over to field 26 to seed the barley. This is going to be our final act of the evening. I think getting that field finished there is going to be also the final act for that piece of machinery. And then it'll be time to pack up for the evening. You see it's starting to get quite dark now already. The sun is definitely setting. Hopefully we're not going to have any AI issues on this field. We are going to end up paying slightly higher wages to finish these jobs off, because we are going to be going into overtime. But that's kind of cool, because I haven't experienced that yet. I mean, we've done pretty much everything ourselves on the Valley the Old Farm, so we haven't really had to pay wages on that farm. This one is going to be very different. This one's going to be quite reliant on workers, so we are going to get some interesting wage costs popping up. I just want to kind of ride with this guy for a little while and just wait to see how that happens, but we could just as easily, I suppose, do that with our slurry spreader as well. I do kind of like this shot here. You can just see emerging from behind the trees with the fence, just looking, kind of peeking over the fence like this at the equipment. Seeing it from a different angle, something we don't normally see. I like that shot. Now here's something interesting. The lights literally just popped on at 18:56. Now normally, you know, the lights come on at a set time every time, but obviously the lights are now turned on to just how dark it gets rather than a set time. That's something else that Seasons reprograms, and that's unusual, and I just didn't even think about that. So nice little extra touch there from the Seasons mod that, you know, I didn't even consider, you know, would be the time that the automatic lighting switches on. 18:56 today. You know, as the season progresses and it gets lighter, or it gets darker later in the day, then it'll be longer and longer into the day before those lights do pop on. And then come the end of summer, when it's, you know, going to be really bright at this time of night still, then no lights at all until probably somewhere, I would imagine, around 9 o'clock in the evening, maybe even later than that. You can also see our wages are ticking over a little bit faster now as well. If I cancel this guy, are we paying a little bit more? I think we are paying a little bit more. Yeah, it does seem to be ticking down a little bit faster than usual for our seeder that's working away over there. So we are now into overtime, paying a slightly higher rate for our workers. Let's get this lined up and started off again. There we go. Let's take a quick overview of our fields again. So you can see field 1 now has a grain on it. Field 26 already halfway through getting our barley on there. Obviously got wheat on field 1. Fields 24, 23, or one field now, 22, 10 and 12 are all cultivated. and we are putting the slurry down to fertilise those fields. So you can see we're here at the moment. These two fields are already fertilised. Our seeder won't apply fertiliser. I was very deliberate in choosing a seeder that wouldn't do that for us. And I'm going to cancel the worker there so we don't waste a load of slurry along this edge. Setting them off again. There we go. Let's get the Oshkosh and see if we can refuel him or refill him on the go. Kind of like to do it before we get too far along this field edge. Although that might not be possible. No, it's not going to be possible. Thinking about it now, yeah, we could only do this if it was... Yeah, it's not going to work. Because we can't overflow into that while it's moving. That's frustrating. Alright, well we may as well top this up then, because this isn't going to be enough to top up both tanks. And let's see just how much slurry we've used up already. How much do we have showing in storage? Oh, that's not good to see. Where's it going to end up? 31,500 litres remaining after this tanker. So we'll use up around about 40,000 litres topping up our spreader. So we've got about 50,000, you know, effectively. So we'll get 2 more refills on our spreader, and then I think we're going to be pretty much out. And I don't think we... Well, we'll get this field finished, but I think that'll be it. So we may have to invest in the slurry trading mod. I kind of don't really want to do that, but I think we might have to. I don't have it installed yet, so that's something we'll definitely have to look at. Where is our Terra variant? Just checking the slurry levels there, getting quite low. And yeah, I think we are going to have to install the slurry trading mod so we can actually buy some slurry. We just don't have enough. I mean, I don't think our animals have even produced that much. We've produced an extra 9,000 litres. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. So yeah, some definite issues with the amount of slurry that we're needing and not being able to actually put on. We do have all that manure though. We do have, let's see, how much manure do we have? Over 100,000 litres. Again, that's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. So I was looking at maybe selling some pigs. I don't know if we can actually do that now. Unless we were to take the pig money and reinvest it into cows. We could look at doing that actually. Let's take a look at the prices for pigs. So the price for pigs is going to be around 4,000 or so at the end of the month, or the end of spring, sorry. What about cows? And well, then we could reinvest in cows in the summer and buy in some more. Yeah, so we could do that. We'd actually make a bit of a profit that way. The cows will produce a lot more slurry and manure than the pigs will do. And they'll also generate all that extra milk for us as well. Yeah, I think we might do that. I think we'll trade off. We'll get rid of some of the pigs and we'll replace them with cows, you know, a few weeks later when the price for the cows drops quite dramatically. let's get topped up again. And our seeder is now done. I'm assuming that this field has been completely planted. I'm going to go and check just to be on the safe side. I really want to drive on the seed bed, so we'll go around the edge of the field. Everything looks good so far. It's this little bit at the bottom that I'm a little concerned about. If it's not going to have done something, it's going to be down here. But it looks as though we do have full coverage, which is good. I realise that as I drive all the way down here, I realise I could have checked the map system. Never mind. Yeah, there we go. We do have full planting coverage. That's good. Okay, so we can get this parked up, cleaned and put away for the night. We'll carry on spreading slurry on our fields, or that field, until we run out of slurry, or until the job is done, whichever comes first. Hopefully, we won't run out of slurry. And then tomorrow, we will be starting to do more planting. Hopefully, it'll be warm enough for us to plant soybean. If not, we can always look at something like sunflowers, maybe, or canola. We can do something. We'll definitely get something in the ground tomorrow, but I would like to get a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Soybean. Yes, I would like to get a lot of soybean into our fields, if at all possible. So, time will tell tomorrow what the temperature is going to be. If it's close, if it's not quite 10, if it's 9, then I'll probably do some planting and wait. If it's 10 or above, then we'll definitely plant. If it's 8, I'll probably hold off. So I guess we'll find that out tomorrow. This is the last refill we can make using our Oshkosh. So that's it. These are the last 52,000 litres of slurry that we have left. We still have a chunk of the field to go. It's going to be tight. I don't know if we're going to get it all done. And still, it still hasn't rained. I don't know what's going on with this weather. Back onto the field. See, I can line up with my tyre tracks. That's where we stopped. Doesn't want to let me do it. There we go. So yeah, how much of this field do we have left? Quite a bit. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get this whole field done, Oh, that's frustrating. That's a big chunk, and I don't think 40,000 litres is going to cover that. Not even with that extra 10,000 litres that we've got as well. What I am going to do is I'm going to take the Oshkosh up to our animal farm, and I'm going to just grab the last little bit of slurry that we've got up there, bring that down, and then hopefully the combined total of what's left in this tank plus what's up at the farm will be enough for us to actually be able to get that field finished. But I still don't think that's going to be enough. I think we're still going to fall a little bit short. And the night is rolling on. It's very, very dark now, as you can see. So we're up to just under 24,000 litres in the tank. So that's going to half fill, or just over half fill, our unit. So dark I can't even see where it has been slurried and where it hasn't. There we go, there's the cut-off point. You can see there the change in colour and darkness of the ground. Still a fair bit to go, as you can see. How much do we have left in the tank? Oh, we've used up half already. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Oh, this is bad. This is very, very bad. Alright, so I guess we'll just keep running what we've got until it runs out, and then we'll have to come back and finish this field off in the morning, and we'll install the Slurry Trader mod, I think. We're down to the last few thousand litres of slurry, and the rain is finally coming. You can see it's just suddenly got very, very cloudy, very, very sort of grey. Actually looks a little bit lighter in some cases. It doesn't look quite as dark as it did, but the rain is now about to hit. See just how much... I mean, this was clear skies a moment ago, dark but clear. Now it's just all grey and overcast and horrible. So we are finally getting that rain that's been threatening all day. We're so close to getting this field finished as well that what I'm going to do is, because there's so little left to get this field finished, I'm just going to buy slurry. So I'm going to set worker to buy as soon as we run out, which will be any second now. There we go. So we're going to have 403 litres left in the tank. But yeah, as you can see, that rain is practically here now. Just hasn't actually physically started raining, but it's going to happen. You can see it's got so foggy and overcast now that you just can't see anything other than thick cloud. I'm amazed it's taken all day for that rain to come. I really am. Now, can we get all of this last little bit in one go? That's the next question. I can't do this manually now. I have to let the worker do it, because otherwise we're not going to be able to buy the slurry. I think we might just get complete coverage. It's going to be really close up against the edge of that field. It looks as though we are just about getting full field coverage. That's really close, isn't it? Really, really close. It's going to be a bit touch and go, I think, on that edge. It looks as though we're getting full coverage down here, but sometimes these don't overlap quite straightly. You can see here, it's slightly off-centered. Same with this one here and this one here. They're slightly off target. So it's a little hard to tell, but I do believe that we are getting full coverage on this field, which is good. And hell, my machinery is going to get a wash if it starts raining now, so I won't even have to break out the pressure washer at this rate. Let's move the Oshkosh. I'm going to leave it down here at the main farm. We'll get that ready for the morning when we install the slurry trading mod. Obviously we'll need some cash to do that, and yeah, we're going to get our milk sold in just over an hour and a half. That should give us the funds that we need to be able to actually make that purchase. Plus I kind of need to install it first as well. But yeah, we'll get the slurry trading mod done. We'll park this up just here so we can go off and collect all that slurry in the morning, and there we go. it started to rain. You saw the damp, moisture symbol pop up. We finished fertilizing at last. So let's get the equipment put away and turn in for the night. A very long day for our farmer now, 10:30 at night. So definitely earned a bit of a good rest, I think. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and we'll be back with some more Seasons-enabled American Midwest very soon.